Hello everyone, welcome, I'm Robert, and today I want to discuss Skytear Horde. I've brought up this game in the past as a great card battler game that scratches the Magic the Gathering itch, and all of that has been based on the first Deluxe Kickstarter. That was my whole experience up to that point. And since then, I have supported the Kickstarter and I've acquired all of the content to date from the deluxe versions. So I want to give you some final thoughts on what I think about the system and how much the new expansions add and if it's still worth it. So first thing I want to bring up is the rules changes that came with Monoliths. I did receive Monoliths, but I didn't touch it until campaigns arrived. So I integrated everything into the box and I went through the rules changes. And it had been so long since I played the original rule set that I couldn't really tell you one-to-one what changes were favorable, but I can tell you that the learning experience was easier for sure. And from what I've seen from the feedback, a lot of people found the balance to be much better. And honestly, I didn't really have much of an issue originally with the balance of the game. It felt pretty okay to me in that regard. My biggest gripe was with the learning experience and the lack of variety. But I do approve of the newer rulebook. I did find it a smoother experience to learn overall. And I didn't find myself checking the rulebook or scratching my head at certain ambiguities or rules questions as much as the first time. So overall, on the rules side, I think for the most part that has been resolved. I will say this though, with how many cards are added and how many effects are added, I have to say that there are still a few cards that are kind of nebulous as far as how you interpret how they work. So you're very probably gonna be finding yourself visiting the Board Game Geek forum or their Discord to ask how certain cards work, because the way that they're written, the designers are not native English speakers, and it's just one of those cases where it does sometimes feel like it does feel like a translation almost. Affects the way that they're written and the rule book, so that does come across sometimes for sure. And with all of the content from all waves integrated, all of the concerns about variety have been addressed. So with how many decks you get from all of the boxes combined, there is a ton of variety. And honestly, personally, I have been enjoying just keeping each set as its own contained box. I'll pull out monoliths or base set or campaigns and just work within those card pools. And that has helped me keep it, somewhat contained so that I don't go crazy going through too many cards when building decks. So I've enjoyed that a lot. And I've also enjoyed how they addressed the difficulty scaling and made adjustments so that you can take out certain cards from the enemy encounter deck, from the Horde deck, based on rarity. So you can adjust the difficulty to your heart's content. And I am quite pleased with how difficulty works here. I have been able to tune the difficulty, and you can do that based on how powerful you want to build your deck and also how powerful you want the Horde to be. So there's tons of ways for you to tune the difficulty, and also tons of variety thanks to all the hordes and also the different outsiders that belong to each horde. So there's definitely a wealth of content here to explore. I have also heard some people comment that they don't think that this game is puzzly enough. And honestly, I do find it super puzzly because you have to very carefully manage how you place your allies in your lanes and how you're gonna bring out the minions against your allies and how you're gonna manage your deck running out, the health of the castle, I have had very, very tense games here. And this last game where I had this board state, I tried to like reconstruct it here more or less before I won. I was literally down to 3 cards. Okay, so that has happened. That has happened multiple times. Sometimes I'll steamroll the enemy. Sometimes I'll steamroll me. So you adjust the difficulty of the enemy and you improve your deck, and that's part of the process. There is a cool puzzle, a fun puzzle to be found here with your management of your hand and your deck, and trying to most efficiently mitigate the all of the stuff that the horde throws at you. So yeah, definitely I have been having a blast with this, and this is definitely up there as one of the top solo games that scratch that Magic the Gathering itch. Now, I do have a couple caveats that I have to mention, unfortunately, and one of them is that I think that this is not really worth it if you only buy the retail version. Because I remembered as I was going through my component lists, I realized or remembered that the yellow faction or color is completely absent in the retail edition, which really is a bummer. And I usually understand how publishers will have certain Kickstarter exclusives. I get that. But imagine if Fantasy Flight Games completely skipped one of the spheres of influence from their Lord of the Rings revised edition core set, and only had it available in a very much more expensive deluxe version of the game. Or if you did not back it originally, maybe who knows what the availability of the deluxe version of this will be in the future. So you might not even be able to buy it from the publisher if they run out of it. So if you're stuck with the retail edition, you're completely missing out a color pie, which I just think is a bit of a tacky way to handle Kickstarter exclusives. I just really disagree with the mentality of excluding a color completely, and even more so because the castles that are included, even in the retail version, they reference the yellow faction when showing deck building restrictions. So that's just like a very bad example of FOMO, and I usually don't really comment too much on that, but it really did rub me the wrong way when I realized that if you buy the retail edition, that you're missing out on that completely. The mat and the deluxe box and all of that, and the deluxe tokens, that's all optional, so I don't think that that's essential to enjoy the game. But missing out a whole color for deck building purposes, if you buy the retail edition, just if you're punished just because you were not there when the Kickstarter was live, I just think it sucks. So I can't recommend this as the retail version, which means that if you want to buy all content to date, it's going to set you back quite a pretty penny, $300 plus dollars probably, to get all content with the deluxe version. And that is a big asking price. And when you compare that with other games, the other types of games that you could get for that money, it can be a tough sell. Now, at the end of the day, I do enjoy my box set quite a lot. And another thing too is, and I think this is just from the perspective of playing other LCGs from Fantasy Flight Games, which are extremely polished. There is a certain amount of polish that is missing here with how the effects are written, and with the clarity is still a bit ambiguous. The rulebook is improved, but how the cards sometimes interact and how the effects are written, that can some of those can still be a bit of a head scratcher. But I didn't run into that super frequently. But do expect that this is not this is from a smaller publisher, so I'll cut them some slack for that. It's not as big. They're not going to have as many resources at their disposal as someone like FFG. It's just I think most of you have probably played other LCGs or other card games that scratch that Magic the Gathering itch, especially from Fantasy Flight games, and you are gonna be spoiled from those games being so polished and detailed. Here, there's gonna be a certain lack of polish that might irk you. So just a heads up. And a quick comment on the campaign mode that is included with the campaigns set. So personally, I just did not care for it because it goes against what this game is all about, which is it's a quick to set up solo game that takes up very little space. It's relatively easy to learn, and you can put it back shortly after. And all of these extra steps that you have to go through to set up a campaign and the new rules, I went through it and I just, it didn't really do anything for me. I would not buy it for the campaign mode. It's cute that it's included. Personally, I know that there's people that like campaigns. This is not what I would play. This is not the reason why I would play this game. But yeah, with that out of the way, folks, at the end of the day, I do still quite enjoy this, and when bringing up games that scratch that TCG itch, I would be doing you a disservice not to bring this up. So I do still recommend it, with the caveat that you probably want to get the deluxe version, and it is a pretty big asking price if you want to. If you want to have all content to date, because it really does benefit from you having all of the player cards and all of the horde cards for maximum deck building variety and enemy variety. And also do expect a bit more rules questions and rules ambiguity, and a bit of a slightly tougher time to learn compared to other games in the genre. And again, I cannot recommend the retail edition. But yeah, those are my final thoughts on Skytear Horde, folks. And it looks like the publisher said that there's no plans for now anyway to develop more for this line. But if you are willing to shell out the money, I think this is one of the best Magic the Gathering-like games that you can play solo. Okay. And I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, go ahead and put them in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.